Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, coming to you pre-recorded via YouTube. Or perhaps another video site if I put this somewhere else. Anyway, this is a toy review of what is clearly Transformers Animated Voyager Bulkhead. And it's what's even more clearly a test shot. I'll just get this right out of the way. As you can see, on this side, he's a production piece. Note the black stripe and the star. On this side, he's a test shot. Note the lack of paint anywhere and the gap. I'll explain further what that gap entails. For now, I'll show you what I can. Really, those things don't impede this figure that much. He's a big truck. He's got 6 rolling wheels. He rolls well, and that's really all he does. He's large, not huge, but oomphy. From the bottom, you can't really see much other than his thighs, and he gets the job done. Transformation on this is really nicely done, in my opinion. You can do this actually in a number of ways. We'll start off by doing the legs first. You can save these for the end, too. You just fold them out, and then this is a simple cut swivel joint that's just been angled perfectly to do this, and now the wheels on his heel. Works very nicely. And now you have a goofy-looking walking truck. Woohoo! Look, you can make him dance and everything. Ah, yeah, irreverence is for losers! You fold these parts down and fold those panels in, and do the same on this side. Fold this back piece down. Now, these parts you can just lift up and they'll do their thing, but I found out they're connected via 2 black joints that you can actually lower by folding these parts on their extremely tight angled hinge, and you actually only have to move them a little bit, and then this black part moves down, which releases the arm that flipped around to over here, which just clips in like that. Alternatively, you can just do it like this. I like that bit of automorph, it's pleasant. And as you can see down here, these fold on an angled joint that is viciously tight. Often these parts will actually pop off and you can just stick them back on. So now you have something that's looking a bit more like a robot. Actually, someone did an amusing fan mode where they made this into the ED-209. You know, you have 20 seconds to comply, etc. Now, I showed you some automorph already. There's a bit more. If you fold this front half up, the head flips out. And then this whole piece, there's a peg here on the groin, and then another peg up here on the top. A couple of them that all line up together up here. And you have Bulkhead! You can open his fingers a little bit there too. Now, the big crux of this is, can you tell something is wrong with this picture? Let me give you a hint. This is the unpainted arm, as you can see, compared to this arm. Notice how this shoulder is lower. The disc inside here is not simply a peg stuck on a disc. It's actually an angled peg stuck on a disc. So, what Hero did when he assembled this, he gave me 2 of this inner shoulder disc, which means this one is misaligned. That's really the only effect, is that this shoulder's a bit lower, and in the vehicle mode there's a gap, but it's surprising how one piece can cause such an amount of difference, but then again not a really huge amount of difference. Also on this one, I'm not sure if you can see, his left eye is not as painted as his right eye. Overall, it's just giving me more incentive to buy this one when it actually comes out. And then I'm going to probably take this arm to BotCon and get Eric Siebenahler to sign it, because I'm a fanboy. As you can see, his colors carry over from vehicle mode to robot mode. Big surprise, considering how there's no such thing as Transform made entirely of color-changing plastic quite yet. He's got a couple of gimmicks. Also, just to briefly point out, yet again, the insignia is, I believe, white or silver in this case, instead of the usual bright flaming red. Now, he's got one unbelievably mighty gimmick. Are you people ready for this? Okay, check this out. Here we go. I'm biting my fingers in anticipation here. That's right! Yeah, I don't get it. He's got a really cool gimmick, though, on this side. No springs involved. This is all pressure. On the production one other thing is this figure has no screws here, because Hero forgot to get any paint or screws on this part. I actually cannibalized a screw to put in there from this arm just so this thing wouldn't flop all over the place, because it's all friction on the inside, but this will probably be tighter on the production piece. This lever you just kind of fold out and, woo! You fire his wrecking ball, which is attached to a built-in string. It's, I'm gonna say it's not hard to reload, but then you can watch me struggle with this, but I do think it's easier to reload this string than other string I have encountered on figures such as Tarantulas, because see how there's these nubs on the bottom of the wrecking ball? They kind of just push everything in there. And yeah, he's quite posable on his legs and such, although you're not really going to need to use them that much. You can also make him do a handstand, because his arms are like another kind of robot feet, in a way. So you can have him handstand, you can have him dance if you want. His head is a little limited because it stays angled like this despite being on a ball joint. There's just some limitation back there. But he's a very nice toy. Now the only problem is he's very bulky. Unfortunately, he's not very tall. He's a little dwarfed by most deluxes in this line. He's much obviously wider and thicker than them, but I believe Lugnut suffers from this as well, which does put Bulkhead and Lugnut's Voyager toys in scale with each other, but yeah, he looks a little bit odd right next to other animated toys. There is, however, going to be a liter-sized Bulkhead with a few add-ons coming out, who should be about at least as tall as this guy is at the very top of his backpack things. So that should solve a lot of the problems. Hopefully there'll be a liter-sized Lugnut too, with the punch, but we can dream. Also, many people are wondering if this stuff can change into a chair, or at least they were before everyone except me answered the question already. It can't. I'm sorry. Overall, though, this is a cool toy, although I would say if you're someone who only wants one figure for a character, wait to see how the leader one turns out. If you have the spare money, though, I wouldn't say don't buy him. He's a nice toy. He's just has a few scale-wise flaws, which it really depends if that's something that you're, you know, holding dear. But yes, that's more or less Voyager Bulkhead. Very vibrant, very oomphy, a little out of scale, but solid, even though this one's arm is totally prototype shot. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this review. This is Internet Personality Vangelus signing off. I invite you to comment, I invite you to argue, I invite you to agree with me too, because I really, really like it when people agree with me. But remember, no matter what you think, we all have our opinion, and the internet is our battleground! So bring it on, sucker! Ha!